Okay, ready to actually start playing. There's something I probably didn't mention. The reinforcement step, which is when you get the cards, when troops get placed here, that doesn't happen in the first week. Which makes sense because you don't get anything there. Anyway, the player aid looks pretty damn useful, to tell you the truth. We've got most of the rules in here. Yes, I might have to look stuff up, but for the most part, probably not. It even has the setup here, which I don't know if that needs to be in there. So we're at the point where we bid the cards to determine who goes first. I don't feel like anything's in particular terribly useful, but I also don't think that the points on these cards are necessarily, although all these swords have 3, all that terribly valuable. In terms of, yeah, I mean, I see the sword cards, which trigger certain special things. They let you use the guns and or horses more easily, are of value. So now I got to consider, and this is where there's going to be a lot of thinking about, what cards are worth what to me at what time, right? So I look over here and I have a lot of discs. So I definitely don't want to throw this card away. I have a decent amount of these guys, and some of them are pretty potent stuff. I probably don't want to throw them away either. I think I'm just going to play this because that particular clan is up here, and therefore, didn't do a very good job. Therefore, not likely to get into combat. And on my own turn, I can choose the order of the combats. Therefore, I can try to build up a hand of that particular deck. I'll do the same kind of thing here with these guys. Fukushima. I don't see him. Got a couple over there. That's in a kind of a dangerous place. Probably not a card I want to play. This is a lot of points. But again, I'm not... yes, I get to choose if I want to go first or second. I'm not really sure which is better. We're really not close enough for any of that to matter, I think, at this point. All that much. This I want to hold. Wow, that's worth a lot of points. This date is... well, that's one of them up there. Got another one here. We actually got a bunch of them here, but they're kind of far from everything. Are these that? These look like that too. That's a pretty important clan to me. Maybe more important than the Tokugawa. Although I have a big Tokugawa here, and I have a whole bunch of them here, but these aren't really involved in anything. So I'm going to throw the 4-point Tokugawa. And these cards get discarded. Black is going to have the choice of who they want to go first. I think I would prefer to move second, simply because that's more the reactive position. And I've chosen my cards kind of cleverly. So then we go down to turn A. And for the Ishida, we have to decide what we want to do with movement. We could play no cards and get a redraw. I don't feel like that's terribly useful. Minimal, it says 1 stack moves, but we could take a mustering instead. You know. How do I get those Mori? I think I discard a card to get them, right? Where are they? And those show up at Osaka, where I have a lot of pieces already. I have a lot of Mori cards. What did I say I do? How do I get them? By sacrificing cards. Each during a movement phase, 1 Mori is moved from the box. Okay. I think... I want to muster something. I'm going to play no cards. This is the problem. It's like, oh, I can gather forces or do nothing. You know, like I can gather forces or I can move. Let's see. I have a leader here, I guess. So this could actually move 2. If I'm very powerful, I could attack there. No. Oh, I got a fortress there too. So I could actually move 3. So I can move to this location. That might be of some value. Do I have those pieces? I only have 1 of this Usugi. That doesn't seem terribly wise to me. Some of it is the, oh gosh, I can't really fucking use these cards for much. Maybe I do want to discard. Like I was holding all these cards because they were so good. But if I play 0, I can discard and draw 3 cards. Alternatively though, I could muster troops. This, what the fuck is this? I don't think I have any of those. And those are not this. They're something else. I'm trying to figure out where. I don't have any more of these. I could draw these. Oh, that is over here. I've got Mori, but I could bring Mori in anyway. I think I'm going to play 0. This I can't use right now. So I'm going to bring in this here. And I'm going to discard this. Well, that weakens my hand, right? Now I don't have as much hand to bring one of these in. I'll bring one of these big boys in. And that will be the entirety of the Ishida, because I spent no cards in order to muster, and I spent another card to bring a Mori in. And we go over to the black side, the Tokugawa. Let's think about him. He's got a loyalty challenge. Those can be useful. It would be really useful if I could know what the enemy had, because if they have a card to counter it, you know, like there's this whole, hey, do I play right away for what I'm going for, or do I go in another direction? What do I want to do? Well, I have the potential to win the game automatically, which I don't think the Ishida actually have. which feels a little weird. Let's take a look again. Where's victory? Where's victory, victory? How do you win? Victory conditions. Page 2. That's where I am. If I kill Ishida, or... Oh, wait. Hold on. What do we got? If Ishida is killed or this is killed. So I want to be in that side to try to get an automatic victory. That doesn't look terribly powerful. I don't have a great hand of cards available to me in terms of like bringing a big battle to bear. I have a bunch of these dates, but not enough to win anything. Fukushima, where the fuck is he again? There's one there. It's not his home, though. I think his home is over here. And a couple there, but again, I can only activate one. I have bunches of these Tokugawas, but again, I only have cards for one. I could throw my cards, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I too am going to play 0 cards. Where do flowers show up? Flowers are up there. There's a lot of them. I have a sword card, but I already have, and I have one horse over here. That's not where he's from, though. He's from here. If I wanted to bring, I'll switch these. If I wanted to bring one of these in. I don't know. I'm not really thrilled with my cards, but on the other hand, my opponent's not moving either. So, what do I do? What do I do? Not really in a position to do an overrun anywhere. There are no stacks of one of his pieces. There are stacks of one of mine, which are kind of vulnerable. And hard to take away from where they are, because it takes a move to do it. Now, if I do the toss 2 cards and all stacks move, that'd be kind of potent. But I don't have a lot of cards. And I'd rather hold cards to be able to do stuff. I do nothing. These fucking blocks. I do not like blocks. Like, they're clumsy and hard to deal with. And yes, I see that, I can see them and the opponent can't, as opposed to like upside down counters or something covered like that. So I don't get anything card-wise for that or whatever. We go back here, and I'm so stressed out by having to try to play this. I'm going to walk away for a bit. Very hard for me. Back up here, it's getting to be like 4:30 or so. Tried to convince myself to go outside, fucked around on the computer, as usual. But it's very hard for me to, in any game, expend resources, cards in this case, to to do something that I can't quite see what the advantage is, right? You know, moving forward, whatever, might all seem like a good idea, but I'm just not able to really catch. And here's the thing, if I build up my armies too big, they're not going to be mobile. They're going to be facing the penalties for too many blocks and stuff like that. And that, you know, screws the whole thing up, right? Yeah, anyway, the initiative stays the same for this B turn. I got T going. I don't know why I came up here, but my cards are the same. I don't have the sequence of play here. See, that would be a lot more useful than, oh, here, weekly set. Okay, so it says reinforcements, turn A, turn B, and then it's got stuff that's built into that. You know, it's like all the rules as stuff. But you know what's not there is there's something that happens at the end of the turn, right? Or is it just the reinforcement where you discard your cards and get more? Yeah, okay. All right, that's fine. Yeah, so I'm stuck with these three cards. And it's really questionable what I'd want to do. Now, these Mori cards are particularly useful. What does the Usagi card do? I could get some motion going. This force can't really attack. Like, this is the thing. I've got, like, very little that can do much. Fuck. I'm not really all that thrilled with my muster options. There is that. I'm okay with pulling more of these because I have two of these. I'd be able to put a couple of blocks in play. Uh-oh. What I'm looking at is, look, if I could get 2 blocks in here, and I could do that by mustering this and throwing this, and then I could get an overrun here and be positioning myself for a possible even attack against a larger force with the hopes that he doesn't have the cards for that force. There's no guarantee either way, but at least I'd get the overrun into play. And movement here, I would have a leader. That's not a leader. That's just Cav. Yeah, so I would not have any bonuses here. Here, I would get a leadership bonus. I could use highway. I think I could get down to here. Let me see. Let's see what my loads. All highway +1, leadership +1. Force march would take an extra card. If I moved 4 blocks or less, I could move 3 spaces, starting here, 1, 2, 3 to here. But this stack is not stuff that I have fighting capability with. So that's not good. Like, I'm trying to find something I can do that's appealing. Now, going into the next turn, I would like to seize some stuff. Resources, castles, whatever. Who has the most castles? Black does. I'm probably not going to be able to take a castle. Although, well, see, this one, too, it's a castle. I can't overrun it. Fuck. Yeah. I'm just, like, not finding a pathway that is going to help me. It's also hard to tell where the blocks are. So there's these big pile of blocks. They're in this space. A stack of counters would fit there perfectly fine. These fucking wooden blocks just eat up so much space. They're okay in some games. I don't like them here at all. And it's hard to assess what the hell I have. That may be a practice thing. But I'm having a really hard time seeing anything I want to do. And it's not like I want to discard my cards necessarily. So, I also can't move, if I'm correct. I'm pretty sure that I can't move pieces that I just mustered. Yeah, did not muster that turn. I play no cards. Is there a muster I want to do? Not really. Is there a move I want to do? This has a leadership bonus. I can move 2 spaces. This has a leadership bonus. So I've actually got a lot of units that I can move 2 spaces. But if I move like a guy here, this could overrun me. So I don't want to do that. Here I'm probably safe. But I only have a 2-space movement here unless I have a leader. Doesn't look like it. I could grab this safely. Everything else looks risky. So what am I going to do? I'm going to spend no cards. That gives me a move. This is a leader. Kind of don't want to leave him behind. I'm going to move this unit that's of a different faction. But I've got so many of these. I'm going to be moving him too. I will pay a card. Fuck. It's a card of that type, though. Ah, son of a bitch. Yeah, I can't afford that. Because I have a leader and a thing. I'll throw one of these Mori cards out. And I'll put another one of them here. Overcommitting to that, I'm sure. Then, I'm allowed to move. I'm at a leadership location. So I can move 1, 2. That gets me another gold cube. That way I have 2 gold cubes. Can't really... Like, they're not as visible as the red spaces are, but whatever. And I'm going to call that my move. Like, I don't have a lot of resources to fuck around with. I'm going to have to throw one of these out anyway. I'm just so flustered because I feel like, I should be able to do more than I'm able to. But I don't know when that's going to, at some point I should be able to. Okay. I don't have a stack of 8, but how are these guys? There's no leader. I got Fukushima, and that's it, which would be these 2. Oh, there is a leader there. This stuff, that's not that. This is like little flower things. Oh, this is the thing that I could play with any card. Okay. I have a loyalty challenge. And these, I think, are this. I'm really bad with icons. What is this? Okay. Since I moved second, I can take more things. I'm just, I think taking resources is worthwhile rather than fighting. So, I can move here, I can move here. I can move here. That's 3. That would be 1 card at this point. I could move here. So if I blow 2 cards, I can move everything and I get a muster. We'll do that. All right, let's start thinking. Here, this is not the same as those guys. He's in a castle, he has leadership. 1, 2. I take that. I'm going to leave him in this castle because it slows things down. What's here? I'll move this here. I don't know what I'm mustering yet. This force. I have a flower and I have this. I was moving out of here so I can get there. I have a 2 movement here. I'm going to just grab me lots of resources. Having shit tons of them doesn't really help me. This force. What's there? Nothing. Do I have a leader? I have a leader. So I have leadership. 1, oh, he's 6 guys, or 5 guys. That's more than 4. One, 2. I get a cube. This guy can't move over this stuff. But he started, the leader didn't have to move with me. I could take the leader with me. I could head this way. My flowers are up there. That's not terribly helpful. But I have flowers here and here. I'll go here. I just don't know what I'm doing. This is the Fukuyama. He's in a castle, so he has a leadership, so I will move him there. This force could use, I have a leader, I have a capital and, well, I have a leader and a capital, but those both count for leadership. But I have highway. So I could go 3 minus 1 for size is 2, 1, 2, up to here. And take yet another resource. I'm grabbing all these resources. They are, having a lot of resources more than the opponent doesn't really help. But I already have the castles bonus. I get to muster. I'll muster, I think, a flower, because this would show up down here. And although that's useful, it's not what I want to do. This big flower is at that force that I did not move yet. Sounds good. Could I have moved it? I think he came from there. I don't know. All right, so we have our first battle. He's going to look at his pieces. He could commit one, and it could be the gun. So this thing is worth 3. This thing would be worth 3 as well, because the gun would fire on this. This card is useless to me. I don't want to do a field battle, so I'm going to take it as a siege. So we go to him. How many points can I put up as a siege? I have a leader for 1 and 2. That's not going to cause 7 points of damage, so I failed to do anything. So I'm now besieging it, and we don't have an easy way to indicate that these are besieged. I'm going to stand them up like this to kind of indicate that, I guess. I don't know. That puts me to the end of the first turn. I'm stumbling through this. This video has already gone quite long, but that's okay. And we're going to go up to the second turn, and before we get to it, I am going to load this up. I still don't really have a feel for what I'm doing, but I feel like the Tokugawa have been able to make some significant moves towards something, maybe? I don't know, towards getting more cards, at least. I feel like the Ishida have failed. They built up forces, but they didn't really gain anything. All right, up it goes. Oh, the hell with that. I'm gonna try to get another turn in because I just don't feel like I've gotten any clue about what's going on. And I want to go, you know, I want to dive in until I get some feel. But I feel like I got some feel with the Tokugawa as to what they want to do and whatnot. I'll turn this sideways. And I'm really frustrated because and this is what I was afraid of and why I wanted to try before I actually started videoing, because I feel like the game is, you know, so outside my intuitive range of what I'm trying to do. And I feel so handcuffed by the cards expenditures. The sort of feeling of, yeah, I don't know if I can do anything. Well, going second is powerful. I'll say that much, because you get to see, well, I got to grab a lot of stuff, but I did spend a bunch of cards to do that. Battery didn't charge right. Somehow I avoid games differently than I avoid other things. Like, I went to sleep and hid from this because it's hard and I don't quite understand it. And that's just what I do. But I also, I mean, that's still normal avoidance, right? But I also do force myself to come up and do them. I don't know why. You know, it's like something that I don't do with normal work that like normal people can handle and whatnot. All right, let's take a look. Blurry as I am now because I couldn't just push through. We're in the second turn, the reinforcement segment. Each player is going to have to discard half their hand, and then they're going to get 5 cards. But we have to do some counting here. Let's do the discards first. Let's round it down or round it up. Okay, round it down. What do I care? Yeah. So now I have to hunt all around. I'm going to get rid of the Mori card. I think that's less useful. And then I come over here. And by the way, whatever information there is on the cards and blocks and everything, it's so difficult for me to access that information that this is probably very much like I would play a first game of this opposed. Like, I would still just be blundering around. Fukushima might be cool. So here's the thing. Yeah, let's just get rid of this. I guess that's fine. We work to the next. Each is going to get 5 cards, but who has the most castles? Well, castles didn't change hands. That means black is going to get a 6th card. I'll deal those out. Less cards last turn, I'd have maybe more. You know, I mean, because it's halved, whatever. Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, he's under siege. Okay. Each player draws at random from their bag a number of blocks equal to the recruitment. That's 2 right now, but whoever has the most resource centers, and again, I think that's black. Kind of hard to see these gold markers, but I think they only have a couple, whereas black has quite a few, and I can look at the amount of cubes that each one's holding. So black will get an additional cube. And this is just, you know, grab a couple and add them to what you got here. And in terms of stacking, it doesn't mean much, you know, playing solo, but so I could like stack things together with their own type so that I had more information. But you might want to be careful with like information that you reveal. And black will get 3. And there are more of these disc guys. And then whatever the hell these are. I'm finding the visuals of the game difficult to cope with. Some of them just look too much the same. I'm sure they will get more. I will get more used to them. And then that's going to put me to the turn order step, which we did before. I'll look at my hands. The hands are a little bigger now. Try to figure out what I can do with them and what card I want to get rid of. Because honestly, I don't think, like, you're going to be able to, here's the thing, you're going to throw away cards you want anyway, because you need to throw away cards for your movement and for this and for that. The more that you know, it's probably not that important, and getting the advantage might be of some value. Like we saw black was able to get something out of going second. Is going second always better? I don't know, but I doubt it. To say that's kind of frustrating. This feels kind of like chess in the sense of, oh, I can only move a certain, you know, I can only move one piece or whatever. I can only move a couple of pieces. Or these kind of games always frustrate me because I just don't have an intuitive grasp of what I'm trying to do. Yes, I know what the victory conditions are. Yes, I know I need to win battles, but I don't understand how the mechanisms of the game, you know, that are defined in the rules get me where I want to go. It's too abstracted away. Like, I want a real grounding. I want like the designer says, you want your decisions to be the kind of decisions that, you know, the actual person there made. Well, I don't think the actual person was looking at a hand of cards and trying to figure out, you know, yes, to some extent they're trying to figure out what force do I move forward and whatnot, but they're not necessarily looking at a hand of cards. And that hand of cards represents stuff, but it's a layer of abstraction that's getting in my way. You know, I want like a loyalty number. Is this somebody I can trust? You know, stuff like that. And it's just not translating. The information that's being conveyed by the cards is not translating to my brain very well. I'm not getting the imagery of why it is that I would want to move specific pieces and whatnot. It's all game, even if there is an underlying theory to it. Something that like Maria got right. I kind of made fun of and laughed about, and Friedrich laughed about playing, bridge or something because I'm so worried about the suits. But at least they were recognizable things. Here, these symbols, first of all, I do have a graphic problem with discerning what some of the symbols are, if they're the same, if they're different. Yes, things like that 5. I know it's a special thing now, but that caused a real issue. But I'm having difficulty between this and that. It's just, it's too much processing effort, right? But there are also a lot of them, and I'm just, I'm hunting and pecking and trying to figure shit out on the board, and it's not a pleasant process. Which is one of the things of, I'm surprised this game caught on so much, because there are these barriers there. The barrier of it's not intuitively clear what you're supposed to be fucking, what things represent and everything. It doesn't seem like it's ridiculous yet, the way that Maria does. Like, my flaws with Maria are like, oh, I can just dismiss that. That is pure game. Fuck it. I'm not sure of that here. But also, the extra processing I have to bring on to understand, is this symbol the symbol I'm looking at elsewhere? It gets in the way of being able to attack the things that the game system itself requires you attack. That the cards, I mentioned this earlier, might be the same number. What do you do if there's a tie? It's impossible. This was pointed out to me by someone else. All the Ishida cards are odd. All the Tokugawa cards are even. Could have just done it with Tokugawa always wins ties or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I picked based on, hey, I don't have a lot of that card, so that's not something I want to bring into battle too much. And it doesn't provide anything particularly exciting, which means, again, I'm making it secondary how much I care about the cards. And that means I'm going to play a low value card. That means the Tokugawa are going to win if they play tied values. That's what's going to happen. They're going to go second again. They thought that worked out well for them. I think whoever won would go second, because I'm trying to develop rules of thumb to make my processing of this game easier. I'm completely stumped right now. Like, I just have no idea what I'm trying to grasp. I think after a certain number of plays, if this was charming enough, and I don't know that it is, like, I can see where it might be to somebody, but to me, again, I want that intuitive link, and that's one of the hardest things to overcome not having when I'm playing something that's supposed to be a simulation. If I was playing, I might find the charm, and I have in some things, like Tigris and Euphrates, right? That's the mindset I have to be in to start to like this game enough, I think, is that it is just a game. It's not representing anything. Even if it is underneath, I can't access that, right? It would take a great deal of effort. I'd first have to understand how to play to be able to start linking it to what's happening in this projection of the world. Now, that happened to me with Go, right? With Go, I learned enough about how to play Go at one point, not well, but enough about how to play it to begin picturing it as something that was not just a purely abstract game. I started seeing a military strategy there. I started seeing lines forming. forces filling in places. Basically something very much like the way World War I lines formed in certain cases, where you'd have pinpoints trying to push forward at first, and then you'd fill in the gaps to prevent the enemy from pushing through. And something along that lines emerged as a story that has absolutely nothing to do with Go itself, right? I mean, Go was not designed, it was designed to represent the military, but not at that time period, right? Not where you had contiguous lines being formed slowly. And its kind of point-to-point nature doesn't really show in my thinking of it. So, this is just pattern recognition coming out of the brain. And I might come up with something that's completely absurd from this in the way that I did with Go in terms of what it was meant to represent. If I have to go the route of, this is an abstract game, I'm going to learn how to play that abstract game so that I can effectuate, my attempts at winning it, and then we'll see what my brain makes up for me. I don't have that problem with a traditional war game. A traditional war game, I have an intuitive grasp of what's trying to be done. And in this case, there's just too much abstraction going on. That I'm afraid I will never like this game at any level. The only way I could like it is to tackle it as a pure abstract. Regular viewers said I would not get the whole game playing it solo. Part of that I agreed with immediately. There's a certain tension and stuff to the decisions that you're making that the rules and what the game is trying to do obviously came across to me. The same kind of tension that we're talking about in a Maria type game, where I look at them like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to get that. That is not going to be present in my solo play. I might have the same kind of fog of war. That feels like it's pretty easy to do solo, but what's not easy to do is to get the tension of, I've made this plan and I'm trying, and I don't know if it's going to go right. And it's the kind of thing that happened in Starship Troopers that I've told that story a few times that just, blew me out of the water, kind of, how much I was able to fool someone in that. Same kind of thing that I get out of, you find some kind of thing to pull out of your ass in SFB, and you make your plan around it, and then it either happens or not, but you don't know if they're going to take countermeasures to it. If they guess at what you're doing, where it's like an obscure rule that you're taking advantage of. Are they aware of it? If they are, do they know how to counter it? Stuff like that. That is all not going to be here. But you know what I can tell you? I am a lot more likely to grow fond and understand the game by playing it solo than I am by... if I played this opposed, I know there would be no chance. If that was like the first thing, I would walk away and be like, what the fuck did I just play? I played Go solo to get used to it, right? And the same with other games. Tigris and Euphrates, I blundered around with that in a multiplayer game at first, but it didn't really click with me until I was playing it solo, where I'm like, yeah, I see a charm here. Maybe I end up seeing it here, but its attempt of capturing areas and straight out military type stuff, as opposed to very abstract type of goals that Tigris and Euphrates has, or Go has. Go has, the control of territory, basically. Tigris and Euphrates has the standard Knizia type of area majority type combinations, even if they're not all, actual areas on the board. But it's like getting majorities and things was important. And I still have no idea how to translate Tigris and Euphrates into anything meaningful. right? I try picturing what's going on and whatnot, but it's just like, I don't know. It's like another dimension, you know? But this is tied to ground combat, you know, military operations in Japan in a particular period, and it's obviously meant to represent it, and I can't see that link at all until I understand the abstract game under it fully. Oh, fuck, battery's dead. I love the fogs that come in here as winter starts and continue on. They remind me, you know, of my wife. She loved them too, but it almost triggered me to go out for a walk. But it's cold out, and nothing great would happen. It's like 8 in the morning at this point. This will still be here maybe as late as 9 or 10. I don't know how quick it's going to warm up and dissipate, but it's just always so special to me. I gotta switch batteries, it seems, and then we'll get to the game. 2 batteries that didn't charge. This one must have been because it was in my row of batteries, must have been in the battery charger. We'll try that again because that one's charging over there. Well, fuck me. But I wanted to, I need to reset the date and time. I'm gonna have to do that yet again. But again, to that thought of coming up here, you know, sometimes like life affects my games. Maybe it makes me come up more often or less often or whatever. This is a point where games are affecting my life, where I'm like sleeping because I don't want to come up here. But again, I do force myself back up here. With shit like yard work or something, I can convince myself to go out, if I'm lucky, once in a day to do something. Yesterday I swept my porch, it needed it. Deck, whatever. But you know, I got wood to cut, I got just shit to take care of, and just none of it. You know, it's not like I go out, do some, I'm happy when I'm doing it, or okay when I'm doing it, but I get tired. And then, you know, I have to go through that whole same process to get up there again. With this, it's not that same process, right? I have to break my avoidance, and that's it. Not I really need to do this kind of thing. I don't know. I'm forced into the Ishida having to go first again, and the same weird process of like trying to assess. I've got a grand total of 5 cards. Yeah, fuck. I thought it was going good. All right, I'll be back after I hide my charger so it doesn't distract me. As I got this convertible one, right? That's what I bought when I bought it. It has many, many different types of charger. I have no idea where the rest of it is. Maybe it's in that box. Okay. So at least if I have other batteries, they might fit in it. So it makes some sense. But I've stuck with one kind of battery for all this time, and because it's convertible, you slide a piece into the other piece, and the connection's not necessarily that good. Now sometimes cleaning the leads works pretty well. In this case, I've thrown a rubber band around it, and that seems to be helping a little bit. All right, so again, down to this. It's so hard to figure out, what do I want to keep? What do I want to spend? So these guys, I got a few of them. They seem kind of important. The Mori, I've already decided, are not that important. The Usagi, I've got some over there. I want him to have to pay a price. But I'm not going to get like 7 impact off of that, right? Like, hitting with one piece doesn't do that. So is it really worth shit? Am I better off doing something with the Mori over there? I can overrun, but I can't. That, because it's got a castle. Not visible because of the fucking blocks, right? I really hate blocks. I mean, they're okay in clean little area games, but in this, they're blocking off my view of important pieces of map information. And they never do anything that I particularly like. Little tiny, like, blocks like Diplomacy have are fine, right? But they're not really hiding anything. And I'm again left with this, okay, but what the fuck do I do? I'd like to fight this. I'm assuming he's okay there, but not great. But the chance of any kind of decisive battle just seems so fucking impossible. Plus, I have so few cards, there's not much I can do. Now, my choices are spend 0 of my cards. I could again, spend to build up Mori and then, maybe gain something there. If I end up with a back area where he's not able to threaten me, that would be powerful. There's a couple of key locations here that are threatening this, that get to a threat here that makes me afraid to move those forces forward. I don't even know who this is. That's no one. It's just a castle. Again, the blocks are hiding important information. Or, in this case, hiding the lack of important information. Could overrun this. That's not of any real importance, though. What's down here? There's a cube. That's a resource location. Could be important. Might not. I don't know. I also don't have a lot of those pieces, but I kind of don't want to expend them. And I'm just like, fuck, what do I do? What about building stuff? Where do these guys come in? I don't know. Are they those? Can't fucking really see. I think this symbol here, behind those blocks, is the same as the symbol there. There's also where the Moris show up. Oh, wait, there's 2 symbols. There's 2 different recruitments there. Great, great. Or is there a singular move that I really want to make? This is from a capital. I would get a +1. So I could make it to here. Attack that, but that would open up this route more. I mean, just fuck. What the hell do I do? I don't know. I'm doing a pretty good job of ignoring what the black blocks are. Honestly, anything that I'm absorbing, that I'm getting off of them, any kind of mistakes, that I make that cheat because I know something about the opponent, too much about the opponent that I wouldn't know in an actual game, I think is pretty meaningless. But if there are any, I gotta tell you, they're just going to make this decision-making process even more confusing because I'm looking at this complete unknown. I don't know what the blocks represent, and I don't know what his cards are. For me, it's basically a clear slate. They're just black blocks as far as I'm concerned right now. But yeah, I got no idea what I want to do. I'm behind. I need to push forward. That's clear, right? I think. Because victory points come from the resource locations. I think, again, not having a real grasp on what the victory conditions are, except for the automatics, is a big deal. Where does it tell me that? It's not here. It's got to be at the beginning, right? Here we go. It is the very first thing. So 2 points for each castle and 1 for each resource. So I'm behind in castles and resources with the Ishiga or whatever. Doesn't help that I'm not really familiar with the period. So I can't really fantasize about it in the same way. Well, I mean, there's something that I can just generate troops. I get leadership from castles, right? See, here's the thing. The list of what gives leadership isn't here. So I have to go look that up. I can remember the highway bonus, the leadership bonus, but I can't remember what the leadership modifiers necessarily are. So I have to go and read this thing. And I know it's a leader block. I'm pretty sure the capital and I think castle. Yeah, leader, castle, or capital. Sure. I just don't fucking know what to do. You know, do I want to discard my cards because I don't know what to do with them? Yeah, they don't seem like bad cards. Like, if I get another average draw, or if I get another draw, it'll probably be about the same, maybe worse. I don't know. So I think I'm going to fucking do nothing. Is there somewhere I want to move? I could move this stack in there, but again, I'm not in a good position to battle with that. I could move this stack, but it's being a defensive bonus for me. I could move the Mori, but I don't know what they do for me. If I have both attacks by the Mori, I can win a siege. I'm going to play no cards. That allows me one move. No, I have nothing here. So I would need to play a forced march to get to here. That seems fucking stupid. Everything seems fucking stupid is my problem. Some cav in there. I have something hidden behind there. It's more cav. I have these big blocks there, but I can't activate them. I'm just left with, there's nothing I fucking want to do. Getting additional troops just doesn't seem worth it. These two don't give me a hell of a lot. Right? I could get 2, 3, 4, 5 off of these two cards. It's not a bad situation, but I don't want to give this location up, so I'm defending it with those two cards. If I use up the Mori, I just don't know. I'm going to do this, and that's it. And you know, I mean, I've spent forever contemplating this to see if that's what I wanted to do. And now I come over to the Tokugawa. They get to move second. They may or may not want to move at all because second on next turn is worth more. But let's take a look. Now remember, after battle, we get card replenishment. So whatever we use up, if we did fight, would be of some value to us. I don't know what these are. Oh, I had a bunch of more. Hold on. All right, let's undo my thinking there. I had a bunch of Mori there. Do I want to fucking fight? What is my combat capability? I can put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a hit. Is it worth just attacking? You know, might get killed. But you know what? If he could have attacked me, he would have attacked me last time. So I'm going to use the reasoning that the fact that he didn't actually siege my city, I can, I think, say that I come out of the city. I'm not sure. I have to look at the rules there. Maybe once I'm besieged, I'm stuck in there. Here they say combat occurs after all movement. Combat must be declared in every location. I haven't decided what I'm fucking doing. I'm trying to, right? Combat must be declared in every location on the board where opposing forces appear together. Okay, I have to declare it there supposedly. Combat resolved immediately following each declaration. Combat will be a battle or siege if the latter if either force is inside a castle. That seems to directly contradict what was here, which is if the active player owns the castle and chooses to remain inside, then no battle or siege occurs in the location that phase. So, no. It's a lie. But I think I can make, when combat is designated and not before, the side that owns the castle may choose whether to be inside or outside. I think that means I can go outside as either side. So I'm not stuck with the siege. So I could come out with the Mori there. What do I want to do if that's the case? Do I want to produce another troop that doesn't fucking help me? Or do I want to move something where it probably doesn't fucking help me? I guess I might as well fucking produce troops. Let's produce this. Let's produce that there. And then I'm going to declare this battle. And we're going to finally have a battle. I'm coming out to fight. I am the attacker. I have to succeed first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this card to commit this unit, and that gets me, no. I'm going to commit this unit, and that gets me 3 cubes. If it happens, 3 impact. Now, he's got some choices. If I have another card over here, not this card, this card. If I have another Mori on the Asigi or Asiga or whatever, then there's a problem. My treachery won't work. I am looking at circles, flowers, which I threw away, which sucks, but I have a good number of circles. I could bring this 3 in. This one is not circles. That could be played with any card, but isn't going to multiply with anything. So I have like a 6. I need a die. I look at the situation. He just played a 3-space Mori thing. I think it's pretty likely he has another Mori, but I'm going to play on a 1 in 6. I fire off this loyalty. No. I want to win the battle. He may be just counting on that 3 winning it for him. I'm going to play a Tokugawa, even though this rips into these, and I'm going to put a 3 myself. That ties. I'm now winning the battle. It goes over to gold. Gold will play the other Mori. There's no sword on it, so I can't use the gun that's here. I don't know which way these are supposed to fly. They're supposed to be this way. You can tell by the corner that's in. Okay. And by that. And I count that as 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts me up to the 7 that'll cause a hit, which is why I went there. But hold on. Now, I'm like, I can't beat 7, can I? I have 3, 7 as well. I could win. His blocks are both revealed. I don't have to play this loyalty. I can play either a date, and now we look here, there's nothing there. Where do the fucking dates come in? I guess they come in over here. And the Tokugawa, the Tokugawa come in down here. So I could play a date, and I don't think there's anything he could do except if he had a loyalty card. Now, since I have a backup date, I don't know. Loyalty may not be able to be played against these. Hold on. I don't see anything that says that this guy is immune to loyalty challenges, but he sort of is, because any card that can play him can save him. So, yeah, I guess. Which means to me that I want to play another card. Now, I was holding on to the dates for a reason. Tokugawa, I don't like having to play them, but I have dates here and here. Although neither, oh, fuck. Okay, I screwed up. I should not have played this. Let's back that up. I would have had to play this first, which would have given me 1, and then I still hadn't exceeded him, so I had to play another one, so I played this card. You need to get your leader out beforehand. Did I want to reveal my leader? I don't know. I don't know if there's any real advantage to not showing them. And that means that I'm actually a 4. I'm not going to play my loyalty. I think it's too valuable a card. I'm going to play, I guess, another Tokugawa, and I'm going to put this up for 4. He doesn't have a loyalty card, so we're now up to 8, and I think he stops. Okay. For losses, it's 1 hit per 7 and 1 hit for losing. So Sekigahara loses 2. Now I ought to get a bag for the starting units for excuse me. I don't know what's going on. For each side, so that they don't go in the black bags, which is where I was storing them. But that was kind of a pain to set up, assuming I ever want to play this again. That means we get cards back. We discard all cards, we get 1 for each, and for every 2 blocks lost in a battle, we get an extra card. Which means these go away, I get 2 cards to replace it, and a 3rd card because I lost 2 pieces. These go back. He gets 2 cards, not going to look at them, don't want to know what they are yet. Although, it doesn't really matter, because now it's Tokugawa's turn. And we turn this way, I guess. I don't know. Like, this is more useful letting me know what the initiative is, and now I'm on the Tokugawa turn. I'm not going to be able to stop in the midst of an A or B. But as is obvious, I'm not going to make it through both of them this time. I'm already fatigued by all the thinking I put into the Sekigahara. And I don't feel like it was, I don't feel like I gained any insight out of that, right? I feel like what happened was I blundered my way into a loss. The only thing that was done was that I decided to trigger this battle thinking I had the advantage. Well, I didn't. And I didn't know that I didn't. Psych. All right, that means a castle has fallen. Does that do anything special? No, it's victory points or whatever. And addition of, I don't remember if it's cubes or if it's blocks. It's one of the two. I think it's not cubes, cards. I think it's cards. Right? I don't know. All right, I'm actually so burned out, I don't think I can play this next one. I certainly need to refill my pipe and think, maybe I'll go outside and take a look at the fog for a moment. Get this battery to start charging in the camera, and I don't have anything else that'll work despite all those other cameras. I got a shit ton of dates, including a double date, which could be very powerful. A couple of loyalty cards. I'm feeling the same kind of frustration that I think like somebody who's not used to gaming at all feels when, you know, faced with something that's just completely outside the realm of what they're used to. You know, they're used to Monopoly or whatever, and now they're facing, I don't know what. I'm thinking like an 18xx game where it's like the concept of, like I'm missing some major concept, like the concept that like, oh, I don't really own this company. I don't have to make this company do well. I kind of want to, but what I really want is the most money that it can make me kind of idea, except that you can kind of do well by just building up your company in 18xx, you know, that big piece of interest of information is not really absolutely vital. And two people who didn't think about raping companies and running them as hard as possible without really looking to the future could still do pretty well at playing it. So I don't even know. It's like, what really pisses me off is I have as much of a grasp of the rules as I kind of normally do in a game. I just have absolutely no fucking idea, you know, what my choices are going to cause to happen. All right. So here I have very strong date power. And I have a shit ton of dates here. I'm outnumbered heavily, but not in cards. And I think, between these and my loyalty cards, that I can fuck that shit up. I do not have a Tokugawa, so I can actually play that so that I can move other things. And that's what I'm thinking about. Do I take a 0 move up here, capture that? Or do I take a... Because I really think this is an incredibly powerful hand. Or do I take this card in order to build another piece? I got some significant stuff, including some date, but I can't bring them with me. You can't bring it with you. And really the choice there comes down to, is there anywhere else I want to move a piece? Now this castle, I don't mark it with anything. And I have to occupy it to get the points from it. I don't think I can fight a second battle. This is my big hit. So I think I'm not going to play another card. I'm just going to attack up into here. I had more movement, presumably. I'm behind to begin with. Gonna need another battery. Both of those are charging. Terrible. Good news, bad news. I think that's the old camera. This is my new one. They look the same. There's a reason for that. I bought one that looked like one that I knew worked. The good news is that thing charges things. So now I got 3 chargers working. The bad news is one of the 2 remaining batteries I had was completely dead. And needs to be charged, apparently. Had been in something that didn't charge it. Don't know. All right, so we're at this battle. Let me think it through. First thing I want to do is I want to put a date leader in play here. And that will give me 1 point. And that puts me in the lead. Now, what is my plan? Let me tell you. I have these to defend if I need to. These are powerful cards. Don't want to play them unless I have to. The double date I can play as the second card. That's the only way I can get all my troops in play. Well, that's the way I can get all my troops in play using the least cards. So one date will get one of these 2-pointers in play, and that'll give me 3 more points. And then the double will bring the other 2 in, and they'll accumulate a lot of points. It is a powerful attack. He doesn't know how powerful this is, but look, he's attacking with less pieces. He must have a good hand. What do we got? Looks like we got shit. This is all Usagi, which means the only damn thing I can score is that Usagi. I will be getting a gun in there. If I don't play my powerful blocks, I could take hits on less powerful blocks. So these are worth 3 each. This is worth at most 3 each. The guns are kind of hard to trigger. I don't have any. I have an Usagi that has a gun. You know, that would be worth 3, the same as the other. Do I want to go for this fight? Odd, I'm going to say yes. Even, I'm just going to say, screw you, man. I don't think I can beat you. But this is a bluff situation, right? Why would he move in there if he can't beat me? That would be really dumb, right? But he might bluff me. Fuck. 1 through 4, I go for it. Yeah, I'm going to fight. Okay. I'm going to fight as well as I can. So I put 1 against him. I'm winning. It goes back over here. We'd already talked about what we were going to do. I can't do a loyalty challenge. I'll play a date card. I want the most powerful I can put in there, because it'll get counted the most times. Although, again, that commits it to being possibly lost. It also puts me as revealing more of my strength. All right. Well, now we need 3 more to beat him. We can get 3 more, and then some. I think the guns are less useful. This Usagi card has a sword. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 in. That puts me ahead. Now that's worth 4 points. Hold on. I can play a loyalty challenge card here. That would take his 4 away and just give me 1. If I don't want to lose pieces, that's kind of worthwhile. Now, I've got a couple of loyalties. I've got this. Odd, I'm going to go for the loyalty challenge. I choose not to, which means I'm going to follow my original plan, which is this. So I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 more points, which puts me up to 18. We're going to do some damage to him. The loyalty would have allowed me to do even more damage. Might be worth it. I don't know. But I'm okay with that kind of lack of knowledge. It was the, I don't think I can fucking do anything. Well, I finally got something. One of my 2 players said, I can do something with this. He's up. He's out of stuff he can play. He has lost the battle. He would be allowed to play more. I have another date, but I have no more pieces to play. I have a loyalty, but if he's not playing, I don't get to use that. Holding the loyalty was kind of good, because if he had another card, I could challenge that. Which means We have done 1, 2, plus 1 for losing the battle, 3 hits. That's these two, and then one other. He'll take the gun. These are all going to go in a bag, if I can find one. I don't know what I'm going to use, but... And I have the option to retreat into the castle. I'm going to take it. Recovery of troops. This is not a location that's of any interest except for the castle. Recovery of troops. He gets a card back for that. And 1 per 2, he gets 2 cards back for his losses. Recovery here. He didn't lose any pieces, so he gets 2 cards back. Did I do the castle right? No, because this guy came out of the castle and did a field battle, so there hasn't been a siege yet, so I haven't had the get 1 card per loss back. I'm out of charger cords, I think. Somehow some of these cameras didn't come with them, maybe, or I've lost them somewhere, or maybe they were busted. I don't know. But that's going to move me down to turn B. Put my die on top of that. Help me remind me where I am. I'm done for a while. This was less frustrating. Something happened. There was a failure here, I attempted to do something. There was a success here where I attempted to do something. Don't know what my cards are like. Now, Isagi knows what this force is like. And Tokugawa knows what's in the castle, for whatever that matters. That's interesting. I don't really have a way to label that. I could put like blank markers on things to remind me that that's been revealed, or just kind of remember to the larger point, because this force is not going to change much. But does it really help me? I know it's a powerful force. I know he used a lot of date cards in it, but that doesn't mean he didn't get more. Now, as the deck drops down, I could do card counting type techniques and whatnot. I'm not going to be able to do that playing solo the way I am, but I could definitely see where they came in handy in a game like this. Again, is that a fair thing? Like, is that a fair skill to improve your capabilities in combat? To me, it's kind of like, a game my dad made up or whatever, which we used little dart guns and we'd maneuver toy soldiers. This was before I got any war games or anything. He was already priming me for it and in concept for like minis or something, playing with little toy soldiers, moving them forward. I don't know if we really measured how far they went forward, probably about as tall as they were or something like that. But we'd move them forward and we'd shoot at each other, and there would be line of sight restrictions. And the way we'd shoot is we'd show that there was a fire capability and we'd fire a dart gun at pieces and try to kill those pieces with the fire. It's a weird sort of little thing. I don't know how complex it was. I think it was mainly just shooting darts at toy soldiers. But yeah, is that what the battle is about? Is it about like the marksmanship of the commanding officer, or are you representing the marksmanship of the whole force or whatever? It didn't really fit with like musket fire, which is what it was. We were playing Revolutionary War stuff. With barriers and stuff like that, and the barriers were very effective. Like the fence could like dull the fire from the dart gun. I don't know how much, again, how detailed we went, but I do have memories of doing this. And then, like, when I introduced war games to him, he was not that excited by them, which kind of shocked me. Like, how could you come up with this and not want, it reminded me of when I was like, I think using Origins of World War II to, which was like the first CRT that I saw, first, odds-based CRT. And I was like, doing that to generate battles on a beach. Like I was on Martha's Vineyard, no, Nantucket, I think. vacationing one year. I don't know who the hell had a place there that we were visiting, but I was drawing out a CRT and using like some kind of flip method to get that to work, and like fighting with seashells in trenches and stuff like that. Again, so I already had once I had the concept of CRT, I could see how to apply it to something other than political conflict, which is where I saw it first, right? And come up with something kind of interesting. But yeah. All right. Anyway, enough memories. Fog is beginning to lift a little bit. But again, it still shows pretty heavily. And I've got serious battery issues that I've got to cope with. Okay, well, let's see what we can see. Now I have more cards. I don't know if that makes things easier. Sort them out. This is big. That's these guys, basically. So, moving them forward would be of some use. Now, you're not going to be able to get that far, right? 1, 2, 3. I can move 4 of them, though. And here's the thing. A huge stack of units isn't necessarily very useful. You won't have the cards to support a huge stack. So that's something to consider. However, you can't move over the same road with any of your forces, which prevents you from moving a stack of 4, moving a stack of 4 type of thing that you could normally do in a game. I think I want to try to win stuff. So what am I going to do? And I'm beginning to get enough pairings in my cards and everything that I can actually feel like I've got a chance to do something. If I wanted to move this force forward 3 spaces, I have leadership because I've got a castle. I have highway, and I have my base movement. Base move, highway, leadership. Force march is the only thing I have left, which is throwing a card. So if I want to bring more than 4 pieces, I gotta burn a card. Now, is there other stuff that I want to do at the same time? This force has no bonuses and would only be able to move as far as that. It's not terrible. For 1 card, I can move 3 forces, right? This is gonna get whittled down. There's almost nothing I can do about that. This probably the same. So the idea of 3 moves feels kind of iffy. So let's look at my cards. I got a double card and 3 singular, and then some other shit, some of which might be of interest to me. Notably, these guys, I've got a leader and a card that matches with the leader. That would be cheap. I got this leader, who I don't have to play a card for because he's a leader again. He doesn't really help anything. He just produces a point. He's not that powerful. Fuck. So there's 3. Of those. I got a leader with me. That'll be useful. What else do I want to drag with me? I will drag this leader with me. And I'm just going to move for free. 1, 2, 3 to here. And now we're all there. Okay, whatever. At Gifu. And I think that's all I'm going to do is make that attack. Now, he can't be in the castle because he's overloaded. I'm at the 0. What do I want to do? I don't know. I'll play a leader. That puts me to 1. My goal is, look, I can play up to 3 cards. This double card would be useful. But do I really need it? Maybe not. It's better to play a lot of cards and get refreshed cards, I think. I don't know. Okay, over here, we got loyalty cards. We got a Date. We got 2 Maida and a Tokugawa. What the fuck are Maida? I think they're that, the flower there. It looks different here, but I don't have any of them, so this is garbage. Tokugawa, I have one of those, nothing to match it with. This does not look like a good fight. Oh, I thought I was in the castle there. Okay. But that doesn't necessarily mean I don't want to fight it. Any card can trigger him. That unit's not going to be involved. I'm going to play my cube to tie him. We get back over here, and we will commit another leader, because we haven't played any cards yet, getting us to 2. These are not susceptible to challenges. I don't know what he's bringing, but I'm guessing he probably is bringing a handful of cards of the type that he's going to create. I'll play my Tokugawa card. That gives me 3 cubes, or 3 on the cube track. There's no loyalty here, so nothing he can do. Brings me back here. At this point, I'm going to play a singular card to bring this out, and that's worth 4 additional, 3 plus 1. Brings me back over here. Any one card can get me 4 things. How important is Date to me? That's that force. I want to hold on to this. How important is flower? That's that force. That's actually more useful. I'll play the Date card and grab 4 more. I did not even consider the loyalty card yet. Maybe because I just forgot about it. That's fine. He's going to play another Kobayakawa. That would bring him over. It's time for me to play a loyalty challenge. I think I've got him beat. He's played all his things. He's gotten himself... this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more points. He's got himself in a good position there. Sounds good to me. But he counters it with that. Now, I don't think I can throw another loyalty on that. So his points come across. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more points. 6 and 6 is 12. It's my turn to play. I have nothing I'm allowed to play. I stop. I do have a loyalty if I want it. It's his turn to play. He has no more cubes. He has nothing he's able to play. He stops. Okay. 1 gold piece has to be destroyed. And here's where things... I can't take the loss on this. That loses me the game. A reason I might not... My food's cooking. A reason I might not want to commit him this early, to be honest. It is a risk. This is worth 3. This is a valuable piece, but I don't really want to lose a 3-point piece that I have out there. So I will take 1 for that. That's not going to gain me any extra cards. I'm going to draw my 3 cards for the victory, or for the usage. We come to black, and he is going to lose 1 piece plus 1 for losing the battle. I'll lose these 2. And I get 4 cards, the 4th one being because I lost 2 in a row there. I could fortify in here, or I could retreat. Hard call, right? This is a big piece. I don't want to lose this. And I couldn't lose this. I wish I could leave 1, but I don't know about that. I'm going to flee, falling back. That'll put it back over on the black turn. I got to deal with my food. I got to deal with battery, which I got everything charging, so that's a problem. Chop, that used to be something I would cook relatively regularly. Also cut the meat off the bone and use it, for other things. Not really. Like eating just the pork chop and, some corn, bread, whatever. It just wasn't, like, it no longer is appealing to me in the same way. There's other foods I like. It's not like I don't like food. But, I don't know, little bits of meat in my teeth and all that. It's just not pleasing me in the same sort of way I used to. And it's funny because it's the only thing that's really cheap. And I always, used to, oh, look, what's on sale, The only thing that's cheap enough when it's on sale nowadays is pork. I don't know. I'm sure my sense of, what's reasonable price will eventually change. Here we are at the Tokugawa. And so far, the Yoshida have lost a lot more pieces. I have a lot of Maida, a double Fukushima, and another Fukushima. All these cards look useful. I still have a loyalty card too. What do I want to do? Well, the Maida could unleash and move somewhere. Not really sure what's terribly effective. I could start gathering stuff. This is hard to cope with. This group is unable to really do anything. But it's my attack, which means I have to attack the castle. But if I don't have the cards to kill it, I won't be going in. Like, I won't play anything. And so not much is going to happen unless he decides he wants to come out and fight me, which he has to decide before. So probably he'll make that decision based on, oh, I didn't attack. Okay, well, then you probably don't have shit. Or at least not enough shit to kill me, right? But if I had a very powerful hand, I might want to come out and fight. What do we got? Although I don't know if that's my choice at this point. I'm gonna assume not. So I think the only thing I have Maida is over there of any significance, and the Fukushima. I got one over there. I think I lost the rest of them, which kind of blows. Do I want to move these Maida over towards this? It seems like such a waste. This might be able to clear that out eventually. However, I'm just not thrilled with what I've got. I'm not going to throw any cards. Oh God! At the beginning of the next turn, I lose half my cards. So if I have a good hand, I don't really get to use it. 4 is the most I can move. I have leadership multiple ways, but I don't have highway. So that gets me to 2. 3 is the most I can move. 3 gets me to here. 3 gets me to there. 3 gets me to there. I could hold this as kind of a hammer blow. I'm going to have to discard a card if I move that far. That doesn't make much sense. So I will move 1, 2 to there. Rather than take a reinforcement that doesn't really look like I can use it. That's going to put me in a place where, yes, I could attack that. I choose not to. Let me go up here. I'm going to call this video at this point. I'm beginning to get some kind of feeling. I just feel like the hands that I had at the beginning were so terrible, I couldn't make any judgment. And that would be the norm. But it doesn't feel like it is. As I get more cards in hand, I get more opportunities to do reasonable things. But I feel like I'm being directed by this random hand that I'm getting, more than by anything else. Anyway, I'll load this up. We'll see if I start warming back up to this. I was enthusiastic about it at first. Now I'm growing less and less so. I don't know. Anyway,